Today is December 1st, 2012, and my name is Kat Bell. I'm interviewing Essa who immigrated from the former Soviet Union over to Boulder through Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry. This interview is being recorded for the Maria Rogers Oral History program, and the interview is being filmed by Megan Bose. So, Essa, when and where in the former Soviet Union were you born?
I was born in Russia. Actually, it was part of Russia, Uzbekistan, south part of Russia. It was Muslim Republic, and I was born in Samarkand. It's a very, very old city in 1955.
Oh. Were one or both of your parents Jewish?
Yeah, sure, 100%. Both of them Jewish.
How did you learn you were Jewish?
Very good question. Actually, we lived with my grandparents, and my granddad was a head of Jewish community in Samarkand. Yeah, his name Rabbi Roman Aronov, Aaron from the Jewish word. And still now, after he passed away a long time ago, still New Yorkers and some people around in America who moved now remember him. It was long story, but granddad really, who was a person who really kept all Jewish traditions with my grandma, and very often I heard, "Don't do this one, we're Jewish. Do like this one, we're Jewish." We never mixed, milk products with the meat. We always kept Shabbos, and a lot of little things, and all the time when I was going to for shopping or something, he could say, "Wash this pot." Why? It's clean. We're Jewish. Someone can say something. "Don't do this one. We're Jewish." And all my life I heard it, and I learned it from my probably 2 or 3 years old, maybe 4 years old. We're Jewish, and what why our style of life a little bit different with a lot of my friends from school, but I knew we couldn't say it aloud. Every time was in a whisper, and we knew we were Jewish, but we tried not pronounce it aloud.
Okay. So you kept kosher and you
sure.
Kept Shabbos. Did you practice Judaism in any other ways?
Actually, we had to separate. It was small houses, but still in Samarkand. But my granddad's house was kosher. Actually, granddad, everybody knew him, and I know people just very quietly brought some part of meat, a special kosher meat, or he ran to this to Shohet. And but our house wasn't kosher. My parents wasn't very religious. Yeah, just grandparents. In the grandparents' house, we knew it was very special, very holy, and it just was for us, very, very special place. Granddad's house was separated with groceries, with milk and meat. It was with Shabbos every time, every week. Special people came from around the world. It was a very big cemetery in Samarkand, and they looked for headstones from Ukraine, from Pribaltic. A lot of people during the wartime came to Samarkand, and my granddad was, in center of all these people, and he tried to help. But he was very, very religious, and all religious people just stayed in my granddad's house, not in our house. Because I'm from doctor's family, and my parents was much far from religious than we are.
What was your education like?
My education, actually from my mom's side and my daddy's side, everybody was high educated. And after my 2 schools, it's a regular school and music school, I decided to go to music college in Samarkand. And when I graduated classical piano class, music college, I decided to go to conservatory because I wanted to be high educated. And I still remember my granddad told me, "Why you decided to do that? You're already educated enough. Just marry someone." I was 17 and a half years old. Marry someone, have your own life, your own family. It's enough. No, granddad, I want to be very high educated, and I decided to go to Tashkent. It's the capital of Uzbekistan. I lived with my uncle's family, because Jewish people don't like to put kids somewhere. You have to have a control from relatives. And I graduated the conservatory a long time ago, over 30 years ago. Yeah, it was classical. I'm a classical pianist and classical piano teacher.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Did you experience any kind of discrimination or ostracism, violence, any other anti-Jewish action?
Oh, very good question. Actually, probably it wasn't a very big city. Samarkand, it's bigger, much bigger than Boulder, but probably maybe like a Denver. But a lot of people knew our family, because I'm from doctor's family, and my daddy, after his medical institute, he taught there infection disease, and he worked in a hospital. It was a lot of private phone calls. And he ran, from people to people, never asked them, are they Muslim, or they Jewish, or they Christian, or Buddhist. People knew each other. It was actually when we came to Boulder, it's reminding me my childhood. People very good. No one didn't ask me here who I am. I'm Jewish or not Jewish. But in Russia, it was very interesting. From time to time, you could feel not really straight questions or something, but people, Jewish people and Christian people in the Muslim Republic, supposed to work maybe 5 or 10 times harder. And still now, a lot of my teachers laughing at me at school, but it's in my blood. Because all my childhood, all my teachers, most of them was Jewish, told me, you have to work much harder, you have to do this one, and it came from family. And maybe I'm not shy, but I'm hard worker. I like to be hard worker. I was born like that, and I know I'm Jewish, and probably why I know all people actually in Russia supposed to do much better job. When I was about 10 or 11 years old at school, I remember one of boy told to my friend, but her last name was Lerner. I still remember her. She's a very good doctor now in Israel. But my last name wasn't very Jewish. Like Kalendareva, means more like a calendar, but more like Russian. And I didn't have maybe straight problems, but one day this tiny learner, she heard something wrong, and I decided I will show you why you told something wrong to my friend. And this boy told me, why you're so mad at me, so upset? It's not for you. I told her because she's Jewish. I don't know. I'm Jewish too. And what happened? Why you don't like her? Something. It wasn't. Feel was something wrong when it's coming between kids, And in a couple of days, his mom, she passed away. It was a crazy story, and he came to me and to my friend, to Tanya Lerner, and told, sorry. I told to my mom about this story, and she told me, I'm not right. I'm very sorry I told about Jews something bad. And I still remember, after all these years, I still remember the situation. Yeah, but, actually it was not in a childhood, but later, at the end of 1980s and beginning 1990s, it started to be much worse. When economy started to go down, everybody started to look for somebody's fault. And whose can fault be? Jews. If not enough water, or today no power, it's Jewish people, fault. Something, you can't buy your groceries today, or something doesn't work. And it started not from older people, because older generation, they helped to each other, they knew each other. In World War II, a lot of people came to Tashkent and to Samarkand, and people helped a lot to each other. Young generation started to do something wrong. Started to, I never ever forget, on the street, just a young boy started to scream, Jews, if you don't like us, go to your Israel. Or, hey, you Christians, you don't like us, go to your Moscow. It sound was something scary. And in a couple of days I came to my daughter's English school, and director of school told, you know, guys, sorry, school will be closed next year. It's becoming Arabic school. All young people, all the girls, you know, started to be covered, whole body. And my kids and a lot of their friends was very different now, you know. It was absolutely like we came to the different world. And it was scary, and I understood it's the last drop. We have to run. We have to go away.
Was that what made you want to leave the former Soviet Union?
Not just this one thing, but this one too. Actually, what's more, I will tell you, it was hard for Jewish people to have a good education. You have to have all very close friends or protection. You know, someone supposed to help you, or with money, or with, you know, from friends to friends. But about 25 years ago, my daddy's sister, she moved actually in revolution time to London. It was 1918 or 1919. Revolution in Russia was 1917. They ran away, and she invited us 25 years ago. It was very hard, about a year. Maybe we waited for someone will sign our papers. And with my daddy, finally, aunt paid for all our trip, and we could do this trip to London. And my cousins prepared a lot of material about what's going on with Russia, what happened before. Actually, my English was much poorer than now, but I could understand a lot of things. I never ever thought my granddad was killed in Russia. On Solovetsky Island, it's my father's part, granddad. I never seen him. And the parents all the time told he was sick there, he passed away. But my cousins opened my eyes. I read a lot of literature by Solzhenitsyn, a lot of letters by Lenin, by Stalin, and they told about our family story. It was big family, and 75% was killed. Just couple of cousins, my granddads, moved to France, to California, to New York, to Austria. Everybody ran how they could. It was crazy time for Russia. And I came back home, absolutely different person. And I told, you know, guys, sorry, I don't want to live in this country where my granddad was killed, and I didn't use this truth. I don't want my kids to live like that. I read a lot of truth things about regime and about, you know, everything. And it was the place in London, it's a Golders Green, Jewish place, where the first time I saw really Jewish people who came from synagogue. It was father with glasses and very beautiful coat, and after him 5 or 6 sons, one after another one, and they were so Jewish. I don't know how, but I saw this clothes, this hat and everything. I remember we stopped just across across the street. We stopped with my daddy because we was absolutely not looking like Jewish. We never ever will use these clothes because we didn't want to show we're Jewish people. But I thought, Daddy, look, they're Jewish. He told me, yes, they're Jewish, and probably they're going from synagogue. And I was very surprised how so open, how they can so officially to show they're Jews. And it was a very interesting, you know, story for me, very interesting time when I decided I want to be Jewish. I want to be like my, you know, relatives, like my ancestors. You know, everything what I want to do, I understood I probably will be able to do it if I will move. And it was a story like which one really, you know, maybe changed me for 180 degrees with my life.
So what made you want to come to Boulder?
Oh, this one is a very good story too. You know, actually, when I came back from London, I told to everybody I want to move. And I started to be more inside, more maybe Jewish, you know, and I started to work in a Jewish day school, like a music teacher with a choir, with kids. And America and Israel opened Israeli Cultural Center in Tashkent. And I worked there too, like a musical director of there. One day, we tried to find applications. It was very hard to find applications. And one day, Helena Schwartz from Immigration Center from New York, she came with lecture, with something that's already started to be not very safety in Tashkent. And she told everybody who wants to move can, fill out applications. I called to my husband, run, find this Helena Schwartz, because I worked in Jewish school, I couldn't go anywhere. And he brought these applications and we sent applications. And actually it took 5 years. After 5 years, we waited for our number in the computer and how it's going, and we couldn't push anything with our line, with our tone. And finally, my husband's parents moved the first year ahead. And one day we figured out we got a number in a computer, and we got a phone call. Guys, we got a document, like a note. We're going to Baltimore. And we knew our number in the computer, and we're going to Baltimore. And 3 days before we have to move, a lot of parents, a lot of people's, these people's relatives and the children's parents brought, a lot of stuff we should take from Tashkent to Baltimore, whose children, grandchildren is there. And we got a phone call, I'm coming just from work, and my husband, find the globe or find the map, Baltimore is not inviting us anymore. What's going on? We don't have relatives, we don't have any helpers there. It will be Boulder. And I couldn't find the globe, but I found Russian world map. I found America, I found Colorado, I found Denver, but on Russian map, no Boulder. I told him, crazy, just ask 2 questions. The first one about weather for our children, because children was 11 and 6 years old. And he told me, he asked the weather, and they told the weather is okay, it looks like in a Tashkent. But second question, my husband was absolutely collapsed, and I was very tough one. Ask about jobs, because for me, weather for children and jobs for us, and we are set up. And he told me, yes, if you're high educated, someone from New York told, if you're high educated, come to Boulder, you will find something. And we had 2 suitcases, 2 school bags, and 2 children. And actually was ready to go walk out from this country. And it was very appreciated. We had invitation from Boulder, and we knew already someone probably will meet us in airport. Yeah, it was really, you will never understand, because you didn't move here. Probably your ancestors will understand, will tell you guys how it was very helpful. Not just helpful, it was just what made our life. Yeah, it was fantastic time.
Wonderful. What role did Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry or the Center for Human Advocacy play in helping you come over here?
Actually, we didn't know about Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry, but when we came here, and people from Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry was in airport, and our first volunteer, Jody Foreman, now she's Jody Reed, who started to work for synagogue, for Har Hashem synagogue, and they tried to explain us how actually we came here, because we just came and we didn't know about how it's everything going, and it was fantastic help. But it was maybe so funny because our English wasn't good enough, was much poor, and it's very interesting. These people just like filled us, We talked with hands more. We tried to use our English because actually we took a little bit English classes, but still they was able to understand us just from the first words. And we came. It was very good help, they rented for us. It's not far from our house now. A very, very big, beautiful part of townhouse. And it was beautiful inside. And all food, in the refrigerator. So that's, guys, it's not, and Carol Watkins worked for this organization. Later we knew about Sarah Jane and Bill Cohen. And they told us, guys, it's your place for a couple of weeks, but you have to know you can't live here forever. Even we knew about it. But it was fantastic. They took our kids somewhere to, camp, special children camp, and they came every time and told us how it was good there. They had a hospital riding or something. And we just didn't know how we could, be thankful for them, because we didn't know these people, and it was very scary. Who knows where our kids will go, how it will go. And in a week, in a couple of days actually, Boris, my husband, they helped him to find the first job. He told me, I'm a high-level scientist, physicist, but still, I remember his job. It was very close with what he did in Russia. And when he told it's $10 for an hour, now maybe it's funny, but we had it for months, $5 our salary, in Tashkent. And he was finally very very glad and very happy. And for me, not far from here, actually, it was the first school and the Lutheran church. But they was very, very glad to have me. And Mrs. Shar, who was at top of the school, and 5 teachers. They was just like relatives. They started to give me their hours. They understood I could speak. For me, to speak English was much better than understand what they're talking about. And they started to write a note. Please pick up my 7 hours for tomorrow. Thank you, Mrs. Shar. Another day, another teacher. And in 2 days, can you work like a math teacher? Okay. Music teacher? Okay. Can you help here? Okay. And they tried and tried, never put me down, but show me how they glad to have me. It was so touched, Actually, I cried a lot. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I cried. I understood how people can cry because they're happy. Because for me, it's very hard to feel these people from another world, and they're not Jewish, and they was Christian, they're not Lutheran or something, and someone absolutely different, but everybody wants to help us, And, Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry was our general help, and another feeling, like it was like a special messages for people around, just help to this family, and we feel it all the time. And still now, when people asking, how did you come? Did you hear about Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry? We heard about Sarah Jane and Bill Cohen, and guys, we came with this program. And they was very, very glad for us.
Wonderful. And exactly what year did you end up coming over here?
It was 1994, and it was June 7th.
Okay.
It's a special date, which one we're celebrating actually every year.
Oh, how do you celebrate?
Okay, still kids was here. We actually stayed for a special dinner, or we took kids, to restaurant or somewhere, and we told them it's a special date. Now, just all my friends know about it. Today is June 7th, and I know June 7th, 2013. I hope nothing will not happen with our world, and it will be 19 years.
Oh.
And now I feel like I was born here. Yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I feel like I always was here.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Tell me about your last day in the former Soviet Union.
Oh, last day, it was a very crazy day because my youngest daughter was sick. And we didn't have any idea where we're going, how it will be there, why we didn't have any baggage. In the airport, when people saw us, they asked, "Where's your baggage? Where's your baggage?" I told me, "No, guys, we send everything with my parents, with my brother to Israel. We want to try America. If we will like it and it will work, we will stay here. If it will not work, hooray, we will have American passport. Because it's fantastic thing. You will never feel like we can feel, you know, freedom and American passport. And what why we had couple bags, and I still remember my youngest was sick. My oldest ran around, mommy, what I can help with, tell me. And my husband took out all the stuff, because I tried to put extra pen, extra clothes, extra dishes, and he took out all the time. And we fight it every second about the stuff. But I told him I will take all pictures, all notes with my professional work, and some books, actually classical literature, you know, Russian literature. We brought it here because for me it was very important. Yeah, and sorry, we didn't have any prayer books. We was Jewish, but still we didn't, you know. I have just one little part of Torah from my granddad, which one I really brought here. It's a little book from I don't know, 18th or 19th century. It's like just a memory of Judaism in our house. But we just picked up some things for just for beginning to live somewhere. But feeling was, if Russia will open the country, it was going to walk out from the country. And for me it wasn't very, you know, important. Am I going to Alaska, or I'm going to Florida, or, you know, just go out? And America still, it was fantastic country. When I'm playing or talking with someone, I still remember this happiness, like last moment. We're done. We're running away, we're giving to our children new life. You know, is this feeling still now? It's inside.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure your ancestors had this feeling the same.
What was your first day in Boulder like?
First day in Boulder, you know, I want to tell you, it was when you're driving from Louisville, actually from Superior, and can see this beautiful part when you just can see mountains, and just under the mountains, the city. Do you know, it's probably, I'm a very emotional person because I'm a musician. I still, every time when I'm driving on this, you know, part, I just with open mouth. I think it's a holy land. It's like a heaven. And every day, you know, like a first day when I saw this picture, you know, I just was wonder how it's beautiful. Yes, was a little bit changed. You know, 19 years ago in summertime here was every day was a little rain, about 2:30, 3 p.m. It was very beautiful, very good people around. You know, we had everything what we need, you know, for living here, and we was just happy. Yeah, we was a little bit tired because I remember we flight from Tashkent. It took about 3.5, 4 days to fly from Tashkent to come to Boulder, because our ticket was from Tashkent to Moscow, from Moscow to Paris, from Paris to New York, from New York to St. Louis, from St. Louis to Denver. And in Denver, we met the people from Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry. And it took a couple days. I feel like we will never land anymore because it was from airplane to airplane. But feel still, I knew we're coming for the better life. And still now, you know, I'm opening the curtains and saying, hooray, one more day in Boulder. And I really feel very happy and very blessed to be here.
What was it like to adjust to everyday life in Boulder?
About 19 years, all these years.
When you first got here, the first few years.
What do you mean adjust?
You know, going shopping, going to work, language barriers, just sort of those everyday tasks.
Yeah, you know, actually, yeah, it's a good question. I remember me and my husband, actually for kids it was a lot of fun to go shopping. It was headache. it was a big headache. First thing, and we started to work, but Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry helped us. I don't remember, it was, they paid some 50% of our rent or everything. It was big help, you know. And with doctors, we had the insurance about 4 months or 6 months, I don't remember now. Because I was 37, we was probably looks much more healthier. But you know, it was headache because it was a lot of choices. You know, we came from Russia, where the last couple of years was nothing except open market, where everything was very expensive. And you couldn't go to shop for shopping because we had a special card. Everything was empty because all Jews took everything to Israel or to America, I don't know. We had a special card. For a couple kilograms of macarons or something, 1 pack of flour, 1 pack of rice, for family maybe 4 or 5 pieces of soap, and 1 bottle or 2 bottles, or maybe, no, it wasn't bottles, it was liters of cotton oil, and 1 pack of sugar. That's it. Now probably we're not eating this stuff because it's not healthy. But long time ago it was crazy, and we have to run for 3 or 4 jobs to make this money, and after then run to the open market to buy something, and it was everything just for food. You can't afford anything more, and probably from time to time it wasn't enough for food. Here we understood just one thing: if you're healthy and you're hard worker, you can have everything. And you know, with shopping, it was so funny because every time the kids wanted something different. My husband had just headache because we couldn't choose which one kind of yogurt. It was thousands of them, like now, yeah, or bread or something we have to buy. You know, with work, it was very good people around. I still remember after Mrs. Shar's school, we lived more close in South Boulder Road. It was in south of Boulder. It was just not far from here. Mrs. Ellen Hall, who has now School of Journey. It was Make a Mess and Make Believe school. Actually, through my friends, she invited me to work for her. And I was very surprised. In a week, I told her, you know, sorry, I never worked at school like that. It's 4 or 5 years old kids, you know. I worked at music college, Central Asia Music College, with all the kids and Russian discipline, you know. I told her, sorry, in a week, I don't want to work here. Your kids doesn't want to listen. And she told me, after work, can you come to my office? We will talk. Who are you? I came from Russia. Are you Jewish? Yes. How you know? My family was Jewish too. Now we are American. And I was very surprised how she knows, and she helped me a lot too. You know, my first piano studio, actually, she helped me a lot to open in her school, and my first piano studio was in her school, in the School of Journey now north of Boulder. And people tried, you know, I told them every time, please fix my mistakes, tell me when I'm wrong or something. Yeah, but they tried to adjust this life much easier, you know, with everything. You know, and school wasn't far from our, we rented apartment. It was about 7-8 minutes to walk. Yes, and it was very, very comfortable. The first year I walked, and in a year they actually started to build up her own school on north of Boulder. I used the bus. But we started to understand we have to save some money, we have to do something, because we was some intelligent level in Russia, you know. My husband's father was lawyer, and his mom was teaching university. I'm from doctor's family. And I told to my husband, you know, we have to work harder probably. And all the time he liked to say, what do you want? We are low income. We are not low income, we are no income. But if we will put our sleeves up, probably we will be with income, and we have to show to our children. If we will work hard, actually we have to be able to have everything. And it's funny, we saved money from bus. We tried to more walk, just walk to King Soopers or Safeway. We tried, because we lived in this area, try to teach kids, don't buy anything, just take lunch from home. don't do this one, don't do that one. A lot of people, actually friends of Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry, and people who worked, brought a lot of stuff, for kids, clothes, and it's amazing. They will not use it in a couple of weeks. It's happened. So we are very different with these kids. We want jeans, we want this one, we don't like this dress. Guys, you crazy, I bought it for crazy money in Russia, and they don't want to wear it. And a lot of people helped us, and synagogue, and people who just knew this organization, who knew just we're Jewish, who didn't feel the Jews anymore, but they feel the blood. And grandparents was Jewish or something. They said, don't worry, it's very good clothes, it's new clothes, someone bought for us something. One of teacher, just in the middle of the year, she heard I'm going to Israel to visit my parents. She just took me and bought for me some stuff. I said, Sarah, you crazy? And she knew I'm Jewish and she was Christian. But here absolutely different people. I have a lot of Muslim students now, and we're very close friends. And I love them. If Turkish boy and girl will say something, I have to help, and I will be able to help as much as I can. And the Christian or the Jewish and, or, I don't know, Buddhists. And everybody try to help us. Why is this life? When from time to time we have a party with Russian immigrants, with some people, when they want me to come or I'm playing around here in Boulder and Denver. And they told me, Essa, you're talking about Boulder like something, not everybody can feel it. I told them, I feel like someone blessed us from, I don't know, from different world. Because we had some hard time, but most of the time it was like a blessed place, blessed time. Both of my daughters, educated, high educated, one of them, very high educated. Yeah, and my husband found himself. He's working for a serious company in Long Island. I have my private business and I'm working for school. And actually, I think it's great. I think it's everything what we just thought about, actually, and we didn't think probably about, just it was in our just imagination, just fantasy maybe, and it came like a true story. And I'm very happy I'm here.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Did you end up becoming involved with Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry in any way to help other refuseniks come over here?
Yeah, actually after us, a couple more families came. Later they became my piano students. But when they came, girls, one girl, it was a Reznik's family. Actually now Reznik, they had another last name. With Carol. Carol worked for Soviet Action for Soviet Jewry, Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry, and she took me a couple times to airport, and I could explain on Russian if people couldn't speak absolutely English, how it's going. Don't worry, it's a special program. Yeah, it was a couple families. One, actually not one. All of them now we became friends. Some of family from Ukraine who lives in Longmont now. Another one family live here in Valmont, not far from me. Couple more families who bought a house in Broomfield. And yeah, we're in touch. Not very often, but from time to time. And I know a lot of families who came through this program, and they were very happy too. First time, some of young, actually, people that, we had a house there, we had this one, we had that one. But they later understood everything what we had in Russia, it wasn't belong to us. I still remember this crazy advertise in an airport, Sheremetyevo in Moscow, international airport. If you want to leave our country, you will live with nothing. $300 for a family. And and if it's program, I still don't know how Bill Cohen and Sarah Jane, how they figured out with everything, planned for people living here. It's a lot of things. Because don't laugh at me, I'm still sleeping on this bed in my bedroom, which one they found for us. and a lot of this furniture, which one you will see someone from their friends, someone from everything, you know, shelves. And now, when people asking why you don't want to buy something, you know, guys, you know, it's a history of my family. I want to keep it and just probably save it for my children, and maybe they will keep it for memory, how we came here. Yeah, and we tried to help. Actually, I ran with Meltzer's family, you know, as much as I could help them. With another families, if I knew already something more than they know, I asked Carol and how I can help, what I can do. I ran to doctors because I know a lot of medical doctor terminology, and for me it was easy because a lot of medical terminology is the same with, from around the world, you know. Yeah, tried as much as I could to do, and the people still calling. It's so funny, and their children now is very big. Some of them was my students, some of them just came, just friends, that's it.
Okay. So to go back a bit, you mentioned when you first came over here that they had set up living arrangements for you. What differences were there in living arrangements from
now?
Yeah, from when you lived in the former Soviet Union and then when you first came over here?
Oh, but it's absolutely different thing, you know. When I'm thinking about our life in Russia, with my husband, we was two high-educated people. We couldn't buy anything, any condo, any house, any car, anything. It was just absolutely crazy system. And as much as actually we made good money when we lived there, but everything was for food and for our children's clothes and for our clothes, that's it. And finally, if my husband's father-in-law, actually, he was a fantastic person, he passed away here, and he just left for us his own condo, and he could afford, but he was a lawyer who worked about 25, 30 hours a day. Yeah, and we lived in his place, and the furniture helped my parents to buy for our two high-educated people. But we couldn't figure out anything for our life, you know, except food. And maybe once per year we could go with our kids to the sea, to the beach. But still it wasn't enough. We should borrow some money from our relatives. It was absolutely upside down system, you know. And when we came here, my husband all the time told me I'm so ambitious. But I don't know, I still don't know how it's happened, but in 3.5 years, I understood I have a lot of students, and with you know, Ellen's help, with Boulder Action for Soviet Jewry help, with all our friends, we decided to buy a house. Actually, it's in about 6 years, I hope we will own this house.
Oh.
Yes, and my husband told me, you're crazy, you're so ambitious, you want to show to those people you're something. I don't know who I want to show. The first thing I think I show to myself, because if you're really hard worker, if you're really something, and I wanted to show to my children, if they will just work hard in America, it's a fantastic country, you can have everything what you want. And when someone asked why you have a Toyota, actually it's not the first car, it's a sort of first car. We bought a very used car and later a better car, and now it's a new car. You know, I don't know, I just, in my mind, I feel I'm not different with a lot of American people. And I can do everything what I want. Just you have really to want it. And every time when I'm playing, or my students playing, and I have a concert or public, you know, speech, I can say, guys, you probably will never be able to understand how you're lucky and how you're happy. Just stay healthy. If you want to have education, I'm sure you can have it. And do something for yourself, for your family, for your living, for your future, for your children, for your grandchildren if you want. Because it's everything can come, you know. Just you have to really want it. And do you know how many people came to this house? Because if you want, I will show you my piano studio later. And it was lawyers and doctors and computer workers and policemen, one of family with students. And they show to kids and told, look at her, she came here with nothing. And she have everything because she has everything because she just really wanted. And I think it wasn't slaves' work. Not like Jewish slaves in Egypt. I am doing everything with fun and with pleasure, But it's just fantastic country. And I like everything what I am doing. And I decided we can have it. And one of my piano students' mom just found this place. Yeah, it was very crazy, very scary. But she counted every $1 and she told me, if you will work hard together with your husband, I think you will able to afford it. Yeah, it's how it became as is living like that.
Were there any differences in how much you could access classical music and literature over in Russia versus when you came over here?
I didn't know Boulder have fantastic library. And now I'm still learning through computer. You can have everything now. In Russia about classical music, classical education actually in Russia was very, very, very strong, very in a high level. And in America it's a little bit different, but I can tell about Boulder. In Boulder, it's a lot of high educated people. And still, they're not high educated. A lot of people who I know, they're running for the concerts, some interesting evenings with movie and theaters. People very high educated and know a lot, and feeling, it's funny, but it was like a joke, maybe not joke, but I really feel that when we but when Boulder invited us, I told to both of my kids, girls, you have to know, you're going to top of life. Don't try to find something higher. It's the highest kind of living. And I was sure, it was true. After 19 years, 18 and a half years, I can confirm. It's a very, very high part of not just living economically, but about education and about vision of life. And I think it's maybe not the same, because in Russia, actually, I understood later to take out people from their thinking, from their mind about economy, about politics, about nationality problems. They put a lot of things to music, education, literature, theaters, but it could be together. But in Russia it didn't work. And because people just could much better economy, or why it's supposed to be separated. In America, I think it became together. If people really interested about theater, they can go more and watch theaters or concerts and live more in a classical way, or they want to read classical literature. It's everything available, and they don't want, and they want to have a kind of different living. It's up to them, Yeah, our ballet probably was in a very high, level, and but you could anytime just push the computer and find Maya Plisetskaya or someone from Miserer's family, or Rostropovich, who came here much earlier, or virtuos of Moscow, and you can listen and see everything what you want. Every time when I'm going to New York, my kids trying to buy tickets to go to Carnegie Hall or to Lincoln Center, Here I'm running to Denver or to Boulder, to all concerts available, and I'm very, very happy. I can have it.
Wonderful.
And I think all people can still, tickets. Now it's expensive, but think about a little bit earlier. Chautauqua Park, expensive. Okay, bring your chair and listen just near. It's fantastic. It's everything available. If people really want to listen or see something, it's everything, I think, available. And you can have everything what you want.
So once you were here, did you change how you wanted to practice Judaism from how you could over in Russia?
Yeah, actually it's changed. It's changed a lot, you know, because both of my daughters became very religious. But it started absolutely with funny story. Yes, we started to go to Har Hashem synagogue. We understood we came through this help, and Sarah Jane and Bill Cohen and all people who worked and helped them with this organization, they went to Har Hashem synagogue. I never ever before heard about Reform Judaism, you know, and for me it was very interesting how a rabbi can be a woman. But it was very interesting, and I really love this Mrs. Bronstein, Rabbi Bronstein. She's a fantastic person who came just 3 or 4 days before we came, and we became friends. And you know, and we understood it's up to us. Will we be Orthodox, or we will be Reform, or we will be something different, you know? It's everything up to us. But the first years, actually long years, about maybe 10 first years, we came to Har Hashem. We have a lot of friends there. And our oldest daughter had a confirmation class here and everything. Youngest, she didn't want to go. And it was very scary for us. Why? Actually, we kept living with Jewish rules, you know. I never mixed these, you know, rules with something different. We never had a pork in our house. We never mixed, you know, dairy and the meat products. Shabbos, sorry, from time to time we celebrated, from time to time I said, sorry, God, sorry, I have a student, sorry, next life, probably I will be better Jew. But our youngest didn't want to go to the Sunday school, and Sarah Jane one day just joked at us, why we came here, you know, come on, sign here, and that's it. We signed here for Jewish classes, for Jewish Sunday school. In a couple of weeks, she started to talk, you know, Mom, I like it, but I think they're not really right with Jewish living. And she took it much, much more deeper and deeper. And finally, after her bat mitzvah, and we had fantastic, you know, cassette with her bat mitzvah, she did a fantastic job. She told me she wants to be much more like a much more Orthodox Jew. And she started to go to Lubavitch synagogue. I was shocked, because I really feel I'm Jew, but not like to go to Lubavitch synagogue and be very deep inside. But she told me she liked it. And I met Rabbi Scheiner here. We live not far from each other. Now I'm going more often there. And both of my daughters, you know, became more religious, and both of them married. My oldest lives in New Jersey and Passaic, and she is a part of the modern Orthodox, and very, very religious, but they have a time and work hard and prayer and keeping all kosher, shmosher, and all rules. And my youngest in Brooklyn, under Lubavitch synagogue, which one everybody loves her there. A lot of people know them, and they're very happy. You know, and I'm coming, it's coming with my memory, with my childhood, when I came to my grandparents' house. Now both of my daughters came, you know, went back to my grandparents' living, but I hope they will never have a hard problems, you know, with Jewish life. But they, both of them, you know, religious, and they're very happy, and I'm happy with them. They decided they will be real Jewish. You know, will have a really Jewish lives.
Wonderful. Well, this seems like a good place for us to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
This is part B, a continuation of the interview with Essa Kalendareva, which is being recorded for the Maria Rogers Oral History Program. The date is December 1st, 2012, and my name is Kat Bell. Do you have any regrets about leaving Russia and coming over to Boulder?
Regrets? What do you mean?
anything you wish had been different
In Boulder or in Russia?
in the experience of coming over here?
You know, I think I don't want to change anything. I understood, I'm happy. Still, maybe it's funny to listen, because both of my children moved from here. They're not sure they will come back to Colorado. And my husband doesn't want to come back. He works in Long Island. But no, I don't want to change anything. I just really like my life. I really like everything what I'm doing. And I feel I need to this part of Boulder, because I'm playing now for 7, 8, maybe for 10 organizations who really scheduling me ahead, from old people, for weddings, for some parties, for children. From morning time I'm working with newborns, because I found for myself I like this age, and I like it. I like everything what I'm doing. And in the middle of the day I have a couple students, and through this my piano teaching, I still telling them how they're happy. You know, how they, kids from around the world, and how they have to be thankful to parents. They had a chance to come here, and it depends, it doesn't matter who they are, from which part of world they came. I think Boulder, it's a part of future living on a whole world, our earth. I think Colorado became, or just found, this kind of different life, and it's correct, living, correct vision of life. I didn't live anywhere except Boulder, but when I'm going somewhere, I feel it's a very special place, and I don't want to change anything, and I don't want to go back to Russia. Probably I want to go and visit my cousin in Riga, and his half-sister in St. Petersburg, but no, I can feel how we're different now, and how we're absolutely happy here. Still, people can say about economy down or something. Sorry, I think it depends from each one person. If each person will decide for themselves, life is great, and we have just to work and like this living, I think economy will change for better.
Wonderful. I think that's it for my questions. Do you have anything you'd like to ask? Is there anything you'd like to add?
To add something, I want to tell you, I just say thank you very much for everyone who live here, who helped us before and still helping us. And maybe a couple years ago, or maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer, I started to feel it's our turn now. Our turn to give people from Colorado something from us too, because we had an easy time, we had a hard time. I had a time 8 years ago when I just was going to die, and kids accidentally found a doctor in Colorado Springs who put me back to this life. But I appreciate to everyone day, to everyone people, to everyone moment here. And I'm very, very thankful. I think it's blessing just came from somewhere, from the sky. I think, guys, it's a great, everything what's going on. And when people talking about depression or something, it's nothing. Actually, I feel now I am a person who can help to kids with autism, to kids with depression through music, to people who is very old and becoming not have interest to this life. I'm trying my the best. I took a lot, I think, for myself, and now it's time to share and to give it back. And thank you very much for having us here.
Well, thank you for doing this for me. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.